Welcome to a BCS webinar. My name is Lauren Atana. I am the facilitator for today. Next to me here is Michael Kubik. He is our in-house cloud expert. And you have logged into the webinar that will talk about the 7 tips when considering a move to cloud. I've already introduced Michael here, but what I want to do is just frame up what to expect. So we've got 30 minutes today. We've got about 20 minutes of presentations. We've got 10 minutes for questions. It is very flexible, so, we will be led by the chat. All right, and welcome to the newcomers joining as well. All right.
All good.
No worries. So just jumping back to where we were. So I was just saying 30 minute session, 20 minutes in presentations and questions threaded throughout. I'll prompt for questions and be monitoring the chat box. So don't stress, we'll try to answer them as we go. If not, we definitely have time to respond to you after the session. I'll quickly do an introduction about Blue Crystal Solutions, or BCS, as you might have heard me refer to. We are experts in cloud applications, database and IT infrastructure, and we have been since 2004. We simply empower organizations with cutting edge tech to maximize security, efficiency, productivity, and growth, all the good things. Harnessing our partner ecosystem, which consists of AWS, Oracle, and Microsoft. We work collaboratively with businesses, teams, and their wider organizations to deliver best of breed IT solutions. Now, something about you. So the audience, if you're here, you're either thinking about moving to cloud or you're there, but you want to maximize value, you've come to the right place. And what better time to introduce Michael to do his segment.
Thank you, Lauren. I'll just share my screen. We'll get started with that. So just wanted to sort of introduce the topic a bit. We're embarking on a journey. We're here to talk about a subject that's dear and near to all of us, cloud adoption. Now, this isn't just about jumping on the latest tech bandwagon. This is about setting the stage for our future. It's a decision that's going to echo in our operations and our strategies, and yes, even to our bottom line. Just as any road trip begins with a sense of anticipation and preparation, so does the journey towards cloud adoption. It's an expectation that promises to reshape the landscape of how government agencies and businesses operate, making the thorough planning and understanding of the cloud environment absolutely essential. As I was researching this topic, I realized that there's an overwhelming amount of information out on the web, and predominantly from the 3 major cloud providers, all have their own cloud adoption framework. And so I wanted to try and dumb it down. Dumb it down is not the right term. It's simplifying a strategy, a way of getting started. So I have a little presentation here that I will move to. So we initially spoke about 7 tips, and I will step through each of these as we come to them. So as far as developing a clear cloud strategy goes, planning a road trip requires a map, and similarly, a cloud strategy acts as a GPS, offering turn-by-turn directions to ensure your organization's goals are met without unnecessary detours. It's about understanding not just the destination, but also the landscape along the way, from current infrastructures to future expansions. It's a comprehensive plan that anticipates the needs of your organization and integrates them into a cohesive strategic vision. Assessing your readiness or performing a vehicle check. Before embarking on a long drive, a vehicle inspection is crucial. On a cloud journey, this translates to a readiness assessment. It's a critical look under the hood of your organisation to evaluate its technical capabilities, operational efficiencies, and preparedness of your IT systems and staff. Like making sure your car is roadworthy, this step ensures your organisation is cloud ready. Selecting the right cloud model or choosing your vehicle, if you like. Just as selecting the right car for a road trip is key to an enjoyable journey, choosing the right cloud model is critical to your organisational needs. A public cloud might be the efficient sedan. A private cloud is the secure SUV, and a hybrid could be the versatile crossover. Each option offers different benefits and considerations, like safety features and fuel economy. What needs to be weighed carefully? Data is obviously an important part of that, and whether or not you need to take your data and have it held privately, or you need to be the sovereign of your data, and that will depend on certain criteria of the data that you own and manage.
Michael, I'll just check to the chat, if that's okay. So checking if anyone's got any questions or anyone needs some clarification on the topics that Michael's discussed so far. It's looking all good so far, but I do have a question. Okay. So
thanks, Lauren.
No worries. I wanted to understand, and probably the audience too, what happens if we don't have the time or the ability to develop a cloud strategy and need to get something over the line quite quickly?
Well, you can certainly do that. The consequence of not planning fully is that you'll have to do some rework down the track. So we have a client who had a time frame that meant that they had to achieve moving off-prem into a cloud environment with a very tight schedule. And so they didn't have the opportunity to put all that planning and thought into an organizational structure or how it would fit into the AWS environment. But the consequence of that is that they have to now go back and redo things to get to a best practice situation where they have all their security in one place and they have all their logging in another place, and their costs are aggregated across the different accounts that they have. So the consequence is that you'll have rework, and that rework is generally more expensive, more time consuming than doing it up front.
Would you say this is something that is quite common scenario that you're seeing?
Yes, it seems to be. We've got a situation where another client is having to retrofit security implications into their account, and if it had been put in place in the first place, it would have been much more simple and cost effective. The rework is quite expensive, so you want to try and avoid that if you can.
Great. I think we're to security and compliance.
No, we've step 3, security and compliance. I think we talked about picking the right vehicle, and so I'll move on to change.
This is why you're the expert, not the guard.
Oh, I seem to have, sorry, I really didn't talk about security. I do need to go back.
I was right.
You were right.
You can thank me later for the prompt, no worries.
Very well done. So planning for security is like securing your load. I can't stress enough that security and compliance are not just checkboxes on a to-do list. They're your safety net and your guardrails. On the road, securing your load is paramount for a safe trip. When it comes to cloud adoption, securing your data is equally critical. The landscape of cybersecurity is fraught with potential hazards, and your cloud provider must act as your trusted co-pilot, ensuring that every piece of data is securely fastened and all compliance regulations are met, leaving you free to navigate the digital highway with a peace of mind. Change is inevitable, but chaos isn't. When you make the move to cloud, you're going to face disruptions. There's no way around that. And Werner Vogels, the CIO of AWS, is renowned for saying everything fails all the time. And he's not saying that as an indictment of the cloud environment as such, but merely that there will be changes and there will be things that don't work that you anticipate should work. So it's critical that in the context of our journey, this reminds us that the detours and roadworks are a part of the travel. Managing change is about being prepared for these disruptions, having the right tools to make repairs and the flexibility to make alternative routes when necessary. It's about ensuring your team is ready to adapt to new terrains and drive through changing landscapes with confidence. Oops. Choosing the right partner, your roadside assistance. Your service provider is more than just a vendor. They are your travel companion for this journey. They are the ones that you call when you need help to navigate uncharted territories, providing support and expertise to ensure that your journey through the digital clouds is not just successful, but also enlightening. You need someone who gets it, who understands the complexities and nuances of what you're trying to achieve. Ask them the hard questions. Do they meet your security requirements? Can they scale with you as you grow? The answers to these questions will tell you a lot about whether they're the right fit. Embrace continuous learning and improvement, or upgrading your ride. Just as car models evolve, so does cloud technology. Sharing up to date with the latest advancements ensures your cloud journey is as efficient and smooth as possible. It's about continuously upgrading your systems, processes, and skills to not just keep pace with the times, but to set the pace, driving innovation and progress. Keep your fingers on the pulse, attend webinars, read white papers, join forums, stay educated, because an informed decision is almost always a better one. So we've sort of touched on some of the consequences previously of not planning. So this is analogous to risks of a poorly planned trip. Imagine setting off without a map, no spare tire, an unknown destination. The consequences could range from minor inconveniences to major setbacks in cloud adoption. Failing to plan can lead to misalignment of IT and business objectives, security vulnerabilities, and significant financial losses. It's essential to approach this journey with careful consideration, ensuring every potential pitfall is anticipated and every safety measure is in place. Next steps, hitting the road. These are certain number of items that you can take to your organisation, start having some workshops to work through a cloud strategy and gather your team to refine the route and take last minute adjustments into the plan. A readiness assessment is an internal activity that conducts a thorough vehicle inspection, if you like, ensuring your technical and operational components are in top condition. Cloud adoption framework. Every single cloud provider has a framework. They vary with degree of each of them are different, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They cover a lot of the same aspects, but they're all particular to whichever cloud provider you're interested in. So similar but different. So you need to decide on which of those frameworks you're going to use, which of those cloud providers you're going to use, and consider all necessary specifications. Internally, you can take a security and compliance audit, regularly check that your load is secure and that you're adhering to all the travel regulations. Change management plan. Ensure that everyone knows how to navigate through the unexpected roadworks and detours. Partner engagement. Secure a partnership with a cloud service provider who will offer reliable and roadside assistance throughout your journey. A continuous learning initiative will promote a culture of continual learning and keeping your driving skills sharp and your vehicle up to date. In summary, our journey towards cloud adoption mirrors a road trip filled with the promise and opportunity. As we embark on this path, it's crucial to remember that this isn't just about reaching a destination, it's about the adventures we have along the way, the landscapes we explore, and the growth we experience as an organisation. With a robust strategy, a readiness to face any challenge, and a trusted partner by your side, your agency is set to drive into a future where efficient, innovative, and security pave the road to success. That's it from me, unless people have any amount of questions. I tried to make this presentation a bit more high level than probably a lot of technical people may have expected, but it's really from a strategic or organizational perspective rather than getting into the nuts and bolts of some of these cloud adoption frameworks.
All right. So just checking the chat. If you do have any questions, feel free to drop them in. I do have a question. Of course I do. So with cloud maturing and the go-to, what do you think is the biggest challenge facing cloud users today?
Well, I said this up front. There's an overwhelming amount of information, and being able to navigate that navigation is going to take time and effort, and without it, there's going to be a lot of rework, a lot more expense, and people a lot of cost can be incurred in getting to the cloud and not doing it the correct way. You'll if you do the planning and forethought up front, those things can be mitigated rather than having to address them afterwards.
This might be a very generic question, but how long can a cloud migration take? Just to manage expectations, perhaps, or how hard just to identify how hard it can be. It can take so long, or maybe it's not so bad. I'm sure I'm wrong.
No, unfortunately, the answer is not straightforward because each case is different. We've done migrations from one of our clients, the one I spoke about, where they're having to retrofit things. They did a very straightforward and simple migration from on-prem to the cloud, and they were able to achieve that in a number of months. But the consequence of not doing the planning means that we're still working on some of those things now, and so that their environment was quite straightforward. But we also have been given the opportunity to improve rather than just a simple lift and shift, which we did initially, we were able to re-architect their environment and start using some of the native services that are available in the cloud. So their whole application has changed since they migrated for the better, for cost savings and efficiencies. But it would have been a simpler process if they'd planned up front.
Got a question through the chat, and it is a timely discussion. So see how you go with this one, because it's an early situation, I guess. So we're obviously all aware of the Optus outages here. How does businesses who heavily rely on the cloud avoid things like today?
There's a lot of redundancy built into the cloud environments, and if redundancy and high availability are a serious question for a lot of companies need this. So if you have an outage in one cloud provider, it's generally limited to maybe a region or an availability zone, and we have strategies to mitigate those. So when an availability zone or even an entire region goes out, we're able to quite quickly migrate or transfer control to a different region. And that entirely comes down to the client's sensitivity to outages, and it incurs a cost as well. So there's a lot of checks and balances that need to be made to ensure that you've got a balance between a high availability and what it's going to cost you. You can have as much high availability as you need, but it's going to cost. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay. Another question from the chat. To what level does an organisation that is planning to host some systems in the cloud need to skill up? Not every organisation can afford to have dedicated cloud architects.
Well, if you can't get a dedicated architect, and I would suggest that's a pretty high priority, you really need to lean on your service provider. I don't mean necessarily the cloud providers, but you need a partner who can navigate those for you, because things are not simple. They're more complicated every day. There's new services every day that make choices different, and potentially there's cost savings to be had. So navigating this without an architect is going to be very difficult.
I think that's a fair statement, and I think that's why Blue Crystal Solutions exists. So those out there that need the support can get it, and what better than experts that have been in the game since 2004, nearly 2 decades. So I'll leave it at that. I want to say thank you, Michael. I know that the BCS advice around cloud is don't wait. Now is the time to move. It is the solution of choice, and there is maturity there. If you are looking to start, we do encourage organisations to start with a small project with a big impact, build momentum from there. Cloud maturity, like I said, is significantly progress, and it is the tried and tested solution of choice. Try a proof of concept, and we can help with that. We've got internally developed tools that can understand the workload you're moving and provide the accuracy and confidence you need to make the first right step. And of course, like Michael has been saying, choose a trusted and capable partner known for their innovation, expertise, with a track record of success. Because you wouldn't go to a restaurant without checking the reviews, and we very much do the same when you're looking at a managed service provider. So what I will do is ask Michael to just flash up the last slide there. I've got some contact details. The conversation definitely doesn't end here, and this webinar is just one of a series that we will be producing. So I encourage you to continue following us on social media. If you do have any questions around cloud, feel free to reach out to Michael, and don't stress, I will share all this information after today's session. If you have any questions, general information, I've got the info email there as well. We are receiving emails today, so that's good news. And we look forward to seeing you on the next one. So thank you for taking your time out, and thank you, Michael, for today.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to present. I've appreciated it.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.